Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the else great millstone while I learned his truth. And also to the hopeful elect that is scattered abroad. I'd like to say shalom. And come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the title of today's lesson is Rumors of Wars. I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So on yesterday, Biden and Putin was having a discussion about the Ukraine border, and Biden was telling Russia that, they don't want them to invade Ukraine. So that about it, they're constantly talking smooth, constantly talking plainly to one another. But that about it, we knowing that war is in their heart. So that about it, that, when they say peace and safety, then total destruction will come upon us. And that about it, we're in the last day, we're in the latter time. And that about it, that rumors of wars are all over the place. And that about it, the Bible is a true book. And that about the Lord's word is not returned to him void. And that about the men of the Lord, we're constantly signing and crying. We're constantly sounding the alarm each and every day, warning you of these impending days. It is time to seek the Lord. And that about it, that great death and destruction is coming upon us. And that about it, we at the beginning of sorrow. So that about it, the title of the day lesson once again is Rumors of War. So I have a little short video. Then after the little short video clip, we'll put a few scriptures around and we'll close out. A quick lunchtime hit, and here we go. Hope you get edified.
Good to see you again.
Facing an increasingly tense standoff over Ukraine, U.S. President Joe Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin spent 2 hours engaged in intense talks.
He told President Putin directly that if Russia further invades Ukraine, the United States and our European allies would respond with strong economic measures. We would provide additional defensive materiel to the Ukrainians, and we would fortify our NATO allies on the eastern flank with additional capabilities.
In recent weeks, Russia has amassed an estimated 100,000 troops near the Ukraine border, along with tanks and artillery. U.S. intelligence believes Putin could be preparing to launch a full-blown invasion as early as January.
This buildup is concerning to us. It is still not entirely clear what Mr. Putin's intentions are.
The issue is Ukraine's place in the world. Russia wants assurances that the former Soviet state will not be allowed to join NATO or even cooperate with the Western alliance. The U.S. has refused to accept such demands. Biden says he fully supports Ukraine's sovereignty.
I'm not sure Putin really wants it part of Russia so much as he just doesn't want it part of the West.
On top of promising additional military aid, the U.S. has warned any invasion would trigger severe economic sanctions against Russia. Moscow could be cut off from the global financial system. But that has not deterred Putin in the past, and some experts believe the military buildup is simply a ploy, designed to make cooperation between Ukraine and the West seem too risky.
It makes Ukrainians perhaps want to join NATO more, but I think it makes other NATO countries want to invite Ukraine in less, because we realize what that would mean. It would mean the possibility of war against Russia.
Though neither leader seemed to budge in their position, the White House did describe the conversation as direct and straightforward, a sign perhaps that diplomacy may be an achievable path to warding off conflict. Jackson Prosco, Global News, Washington.
She takes a picture.
So I hope you enjoyed the video. One moment. And
He puts the
like you say, rumors of wars. And that about is that, you're seeing that is a very serious situation. And that about that, we constantly warn you. And that about it, we're right upon World War III. And that about is that a lot of things are getting ready to happen at a fast pace. And only last part of it is that RD microchip. That's what we're waiting on. And all hell is getting ready to break loose. So hope that you got edified by the video today. So we'll start the lesson. We'll open up in Psalms chapter 55, and we'll start up at verse 21. And it reads, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn sore." Let's read it again. Psalm chapter 55 and verse 21. "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn sore." So that about is that, there are are getting ready. You know what I'm saying? You're hearing the war drums are beating, and that is about wars in the air, and that is about even though they had a respectful discussion, you know, a meeting, and that is about it, you know, and that is about it that, you know, one nation is constantly not backing down and the other one's not backing down. So that is about it that it's getting ready to escalate into World War III. And that is about Ezekiel chapter 38, Jeremiah chapter 50, Jeremiah chapter 51 is getting ready to come to life. And also Revelation chapter 13, verses 15 through 18 is we right on the border of all this. It's at the doorstep. And that is about it. It's time for you to seek the Lord. It's time to watch, pray, and be sold. Ask the Lord to have mercy upon you. But we're coming up on that turbulent time. Jacob's trouble is right upon her, a great time of trouble that we have never seen before. So now, we'll open up the lesson one moment. We'll open up the lesson. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. A quick lesson at lunchtime. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. One moment. And it reads, and ye, Salakia, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of war. See that ye be not troubled, but all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So that is about it. We at the beginning of sorrows, and that is about it. You have had earthquakes in diverse places. Just yesterday, I think it was one in Oregon in the northwest, and that is about it. That the Bible is a true book, and that is we having a lot of pestilence. We having a lot of famine in the, you know, like in the Colorado in California. You know, I think the Colorado River is drying up, and also the Euphrates River dry. All these Bible prophecies are constantly leading to war, and that is about it. That rumors of war is constantly talk about war and war over and over, and that is about it. It's time for us to prepare. It's time for us to have the faith, build ourselves up, get our mind in the right mindset each and every day, and constantly trust and believe in Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, cause rumors of war, and we're right upon war. And that is about it, that a lot of people constantly at ease, are constantly not considering. And that is about these evils are constantly growing each and every day. And we're constantly sounding the war. But that is about 2/3 therein shall be cut off and die. So now, let's go to, let's get a quick precept. Let's go to Luke chapter 21, one moment. Luke chapter 21, one moment. Luke chapter 21 and verse 9. Luke chapter 21 and verse 9, one moment. And it reads, but when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet, by and by. So that is about it, that you're hearing all these rumors of war. You're hearing all these different meetings are going on, negotiations. But that is about it. It's not yet the end, because that is about it. The implement of the RFD microchip has not happened yet. So that is about we're waiting on that prophecy. But once that happened, everything will pick up and all hell will break loose. And that is about it, that it's time to seek the Lord early while he can be found. So now, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 21. One moment. Ezekiel chapter 21. One moment. Ezekiel chapter 21. And we'll start up one moment. Ezekiel chapter 21. We'll start up at verse 9. Ezekiel chapter 21 and verse 9. And it reads, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus said the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and also is furbished. That means that it's getting sharpened each and every day. It's getting closer also. Verse 10, and it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It condemns the rod of my son as every tree. So that is about is that, you know, a lot of people are still in the house of mirth, constantly drinking and being merry, constantly not considering what's going on in the world, not measuring the time diligently, not redeeming the time wisely. And that is about they are getting ready to get a rude awakening. And that is about we constantly telling all of a sudden, then total destruction will come upon you. And that is about it. He said, they shall seek me early, but you shall not find it. because the Lord has stretched his hands out all day long, which in fact are the prophets. And I deal about it. You're not hearing. You're not paying attention. You constantly turning your back on Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And rumors of wars are all over the place. Earthquakes in diverse places. Volcanic activity all throughout the world. And I deal about it that this gospel has been preached throughout the four corners of the earth. Then shall the end come. We at the beginning of sorrow. Jacob's trouble is read upon a great death and destruction is coming. So that is about it's time to seek the Lord. So now, let's start back up. Ezekiel chapter 21, and we'll start back up at verse 11. And he has given it to be furbished, that it may be handed, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished, to give it unto the hands of the slayer. Verse 12, cry and howl, son of man, for it shall be upon my people. It shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Terrors by reasons of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon thy thigh. So that is about is that, we're going to have all sorts of calamity getting ready to come towards us. And that is about is that, when you read about that in Revelation chapter 12 and 12, the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath because he's knowing that his time is very short. And that is about we're seeing all these Bible prophecies constantly lining up left and right. And that is about our people are constantly not heeding, not hearing. You know what I'm saying? And that is about it, they're going to be destroyed. And that is about it, that the Lord has gave them a strong delusion so they can believe a lie. A lot of people going around, oh, it's not going to happen. Oh, this is not going to happen. Oh, no, this world is going to go on for a long time. And that is about you have a strong delusion. We read upon the great day of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Great death and destruction is read upon them. And also our salvation is very close than we yet believe. We are ready to go. Seal the elect and get out of here. So now, let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 5. 2nd Ezra chapter 5. One moment. 2nd Ezra chapter 5. And we'll start up at verse 1. And it reads, nevertheless, as the coming tokens are the signs, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Verse 2, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. Verse 3, and the land that thou seest now to have root shall thou see wasted suddenly. So that is about it, that all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Right now, everyone is constantly going on in the ways of the world. Everything, they're at ease. A lot of people are not thinking about destruction, not thinking about their true power right now. All they thinking about what's right before them, this temporal world. And that is about you're going to be destroyed. And that is about not knowing the signs of the time. And that is about we're in that time. We're in the last days. And that is about we're constantly warning you left and right. We read upon World War III. We read upon this global reset, the New World Order, the MOTB, which in fact is the RFD microchip. It's read upon us. Revelation chapter 13 verses 15 through 18. It is here. It is at the door. And it's I deal about it, whether you were here or whether you were forbear. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. So now, let's go to one moment. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter, one moment. 2nd Ezra chapter 6. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 21, if I'm not mistaken. No, verse 18. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 18. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw near to visit them that dwell upon the earth. So that is about it. The Lord is getting ready to make a visitation. He's getting ready to appear. And that is about it. Our people are constantly being rocked back to sleep, have a lack of knowledge, because you have rejected now, I will also reject thee. And that is about it. We constantly warning you left and right, but our people will not get it this time around. They will be totally destroyed, the 2/3. And that is about it, that we're right upon this great time of trouble that we have never seen before. We constantly warning you left and right. We're sounding like a broken record, but the idea about we're going to constantly sound along. We're going to constantly do the will of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So that is about it. The Lord is constantly drawing nearer and nearer through the science, through the scriptures, through the prophecies are constantly lining up. You know, the end is being manifest left and right. We constantly warning you. So now, let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. 2nd Ezra chapter 16. One moment. I hope you're getting edified by the lesson today. Second Ezra chapter 16, and we'll start up at verse 17. Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 17. And it reads, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So what shall you do when these evils shall come? A lot of people going to be bugged out of their mind when all this great death and destruction come. A lot of people will get thrown into FEMA camps. A lot of people would not be able to enter in a city. A lot of people will starve to death. A lot of things are getting ready to come on a high level. You know what I'm saying? The UN troops are getting ready to invade America. But that is about we at the beginning of sorrow. And that is about it is at the door. It is here. All these Bible prophets are constantly lining up like clockwork. And the idea about it, the Lord is getting ready to return and set things back into order. We cannot wait. Rejoice ye heaven. So now, let's go to one moment. Let's drop down to verse 36. One moment. And it reads, behold, the word of the Lord, receive it, believe it, not the gods of whom the Lord spoke. So a lot of our people constantly in these false doctrines, constantly are going on in the ways of the word. And the Lord said, believe him. Put your total trust in him. Do not put your trust in man. And that about it would only lead to your death and destruction. Whoever received this word, it's time right now. It's constantly, each and every day. Meditate day and night this great wisdom. Now, constantly pray, constantly fast each and every day, and constantly ask the Lord to have mercy on you and remember you and preserve you in that time of trouble. Because the ideal about it, the house of David right now, we're standing up tall. We have received the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We knowing that we are in these last hours, these last days, and the ideal about it is that, you know what I'm saying? We cannot wait. The Lord is getting ready to return. So now we'll start back up at Second Ezra chapter 16, we'll start back up at verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw near and are not slack. And verse 38, as when a woman with a child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, and 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Verse 39, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So that is about it. We are in the birth pains right now. This is the birth pains. And when you go back to Jacob and Esau, you know, this is the struggle in Rebekah's womb. And that is about it. We getting ready to come down to the final climax. And that is about it. The Lord is getting ready to show up. And the idea about it is that, you know what I'm saying, all these Bible prophets are constantly moving. You know what I'm saying? The idea about it is that things are constantly picking up. All these plagues are constantly growing. Everything is getting ready to boil over. All hell is getting ready to break loose. So the idea about it is time to watch, pray, and be sober. And the idea about it is that we constantly warn you. We're seeing all these rumors of war, but the idea about it is getting ready to escalate into World War III, a time that we had never seen before. So the idea about it is that it's up to you to hear the words of the Lord. It's up to you to receive it. If you do not receive it, anyone, man or woman, great or small, rich or poor, do not seek the Lord shall be put to death. So now, let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 14. One moment. 2 Ezra chapter 14. One moment. 2 Ezra chapter 14, and we'll start up at verse 13. Now, therefore, set thy house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble. And now renounce corruption. Verse 14, let go from thee mortal thought. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. So that it's time to put off the weak nature. Stop thinking about these mortal thoughts. And start thinking about salvation. Start thinking about the kingdom to come. And that about constantly putting your trust in Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. It's time to let go of this world. And that it's time to come under total subjection to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So now we'll start back up at 2 Ezra chapter 14 and verse 15. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. Verse 16, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. So these evils are constantly growing. And that is about it. You must get prepared for that evil time, even as pilgrims upon the earth. So we'll be moving from place to place when this great time of trouble starts. And that is about it, that the one that stayed loyal to the Lord, the one that constantly seek the Lord will protect us. We will be in the secret place of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And rumors of war are all over the place. Any day you could wake up, boom, and it's World War III. All of a sudden, the Lord said he would come like a thief in the night. So that is about it. We must watch, pray, and be sold each and every day, because we are very close. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. So now, let's go to our last and final script. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. We'll close out here. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, and we'll start up one moment. We'll start up at verse 1. And we'll close out here. And it reads, "But of the times and the season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you." Verse 2, "For yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night." Verse 3, "For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child. They shall not escape." Let's read that again. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3. "For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." So that is about it, that all of a sudden, in thy security, at ease, constantly drinking and being merry, as of the days of Noah, as of the days of Lot, and that is about it. The Lord destroyed all those places, because that is about it. They constantly were disobedient. They constantly want to go in the ways of this world, constantly want to sin, constantly all sorts of wickedness and deceiving. But the Lord is getting ready to set up that righteous kingdom forever and forever. And that is about it. We at the beginning of sorrow. And that is about it. We're constantly warning you. We're sounding along each and every day. It's time for you to seek the Lord. So the title of the day's lesson, once again, is Rumors of War. And I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. I like to say, Shalom.